Next question is from Naik Vishnu, and they ask, what do you like about Indian culture other than the food? And they said lots of love from India. That's a great question. Naik, thank you so much for your question. I would definitely have to say that my favorite thing about Indian culture, apart from the food, of course, the food is amazing. So I am actually in a family vacation right now. It's very nice since the previous weeks there's been a lot going on, a lot with school, with work and other things like that. So it is nice to sometimes take some time off, spend some time with your family. In this case, we did travel maybe 8 hours, 7 hours down south from where we live to a place called Los Angeles in California, and we rented out this house for the time that we're here. It's a pretty nice house, very open, very bright. There's a pool in the backyard, very nice. This morning I just decided to make some coffee, so here's the coffee. It's amazing. I also got some pan dulce, as you saw in my previous video, but I haven't done a Q&A in some time, so I decided, you know, I think this is a great time to do a Q&A. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and answer your questions. Since we got over 100 questions, I can't answer them all or this video will be hours and hours. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe pick 10 to 15 of them just by scrolling, stopping my finger, and that lucky question is the one that I am going to answer. Let me also go ahead and get started on my pan dulce. This one is amazing. It's very buttery and there's a little bit of cream on it as well. Let's try it. It's so good. Very first question is from Abby Z. And Abby asked, what do you think about South Indian food? There are still a lot for you to try. So South Indian food, I would say, is very, very delicious. I enjoy it every time that I have it. Everything from the idli, the sambar, the vada, all of these dishes that I have tried, I would have to say they are amazing. Especially for breakfast time, I think those are really, really good to have. Sambar, I am so surprised. In the past, I am not the biggest fan of like soups, but with sambar, it's just amazing. The way that it is made, the way that I have tried it, it's always really good, and it makes me feel like a little bit healthy, so I really like that part of it. But yes, I would love to try more South Indian food. Of course, I have tried dosa. Dosa is amazing, but you gotta eat it at the restaurant. So I'm hoping that soon, maybe soon in the future, the restaurants will open up and allow me to actually eat there so I can have the very crispy dosa. Also with my girlfriend, she's never had the very crispy, freshly made dosa. She's only had the takeout one, which tends to get a little soggy and not super crispy. So I am excited to take my girlfriend, take my family to try actual dosa. And any other South Indian dishes that I should try, put it down in the comments. I do read them and I take note of, okay, if I ever find this, I need to try this because on YouTube they said to try this. So yes, put those comments down below. Alright, so the next comment that I am going to answer, let's go ahead and spin. Here we go, we'll land on one. This next question is by Biblap Sen, and he asks, which one is your favorite food you want to eat first when you visit India? So when I visit India, I think I will be most excited to try things like, of course, biryani. I would be very, very excited to try biryani since it is one of my favorite foods, especially the Hyderabadi style biryani. I love it. I'm in love with like a spicier type of biryani, and from what I've tried, the Hyderabadi style biryani tends to have a little bit more like painful heat to it, which I am a big fan of. So I would definitely have to say Hyderabadi style biryani is what I'm very excited to try. But just overall, I'm gonna be so excited to try everything that I can get my hands on. So next question, spinning, 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 spinning. Here we go, we're gonna land on this one right here. So Ashish Mishra asked the question, what do you do for a living? A lot of you have also asked me this, asking me, do you do YouTube for full time? YouTube is more of a fun thing that I do. It's more of a hobby. I've always enjoyed eating food. Food is my passion. It's one of my passions in life. So I do like to document my food adventures. I do like to share my food adventures and me trying new food. So I think YouTube is a great way. I also do TikTok where I try other types of food as well on there. It started out on Instagram a long time ago, and then eventually in 2018 it went to YouTube. But to answer your question, what do I do for a living? What actually pays my bills? So I am a software developer. Some people call it a software engineer, a coder. So I do all of these things where I create websites. Sometimes I'll create like mobile apps for your phones, things like that. It really depends on the specific project, but I do things like that for the company that I work for. And that's also what I studied in my university and what I'm doing my master's on, software engineering. That's mainly what I do. It's also another thing that I really enjoy doing, some things that I think is a great skill to learn in your college, which I started learning in my college maybe 6 years back or so. What I actually studied in my university was computer science, which teaches you the skills of coding, writing programs on your computer. That way you can then make a lot of different things like websites and mobile applications for your phone, things like that. I think if you're somebody who can spend maybe 8 to 10 hours a day on a computer and actually kind of enjoy it, or be able to do that without just raging the whole time, then possibly you could become also a computer science. A lot of it is patience, problem solving, things like that. I enjoy what I do, I am proud of what I do, and it definitely gives me the funds to, you know, go out and do YouTube videos, go out and buy food that I would normally in the past, in my college days, wouldn't be able to do because I was on a very strict budget for food. Here we go, here we go. So we're spinning. We got a question from Keep Smiling. Keep Smiling, I do see you a lot on my comment section. Thank you so much. Big shout out to Keep Smiling. Keep Smiling's question is, when will you come to India? This question I get asked a lot. I was actually planning to do it this year, but with the current situation, I don't think that's gonna happen. Next year, possibly, depending on how the current situation continues. For sure, I think by the next couple of years, I will definitely be visiting India. My question to you all is, as a person who has never visited India, which places should I visit first? Say I have 2 weeks to visit India, to stay in India. Which places should I go to? I kind of have an idea of maybe where I'd like to go to. Maybe like Hyderabad, maybe like a Goa, maybe like New Delhi. I don't know, but there's so many places. It would be great if you could all comment down and let me know which 2 places I should visit for my first India trip. So next question. All right, so this next question is from Praveen Tiwari. And Praveen Tiwari asked, what was your dream when you started making YouTube videos, and how happy are you now after getting lots of love from the YouTube family? Love from India. Praveen, thank you so much for your comment. So this has 2 questions to it. Very first one is, what was your dream when starting to make YouTube videos? So I've always wanted to make YouTube videos. I think it's pretty cool how people kind of document their life a little bit. So in the future, I can go back and also watch it and kind of remember all the very cool memories that I made on YouTube. That was one of the main reasons that I started. A second reason was, I always liked food. I'm always a big fan of food. When I'm on vacation, like right now, I think one of the things that I enjoy the most is not necessarily like the sceneries and the, you know, going to some place new. It's mostly, what type of food do they have there? What type of food that's new do I get to try? So I've always loved food. Now being able to document it and show and share it with the community on YouTube, I think that's the best for me. That's one of the things that kind of pushed me to create the YouTube. The second question is, how happy are you now after getting lots of love from YouTube family? I am so happy. I would have never thought that I could create such a big following through food alone, especially Indian food. I would have never known that there was people who wanted to see me and my Indian food adventures, me learning about Indian food, learning about Indian culture. Right now I think we're like at 41,000. I would have never thought that so many people would want to watch me. I would say in the past, especially starting out as somebody new on YouTube, you get the idea like, oh, nobody's gonna watch my stuff. Why would they watch my stuff? It's, you know, when there's like people who are really big on here. For example, some of my favorite YouTubers, I watch Mark Wiens, I watch Strictly Dumpling, Mike Chan, all of these big YouTube channels that I always looked up to. I used to always be like, oh, you know, they're so big on YouTube. I don't think I could ever like do that, right? But then I think as I grew up, as I grew older, it was more of like, they can do it, why can't I? For anyone that's starting YouTube, I think the best advice that I can give you is just, you know, use your phone or whatever camera you have available and just start making videos. There is gonna be people who are gonna like your style, who are gonna like your videos, your adventures on whatever you do. There are people out there. There are so many people in this world, and of course there's gonna be people who don't like it. There's gonna be a good amount of people who do like it, and I really appreciate the people who stick with my community, the Foodgasm family, and I am very grateful for everybody who watches my videos. Yeah, it's to this day, I'm actually still very surprised that people want to watch my videos. For now, we have a really awesome community that's still growing. I still get the notifications like, oh, this person subscribed, oh, this person subscribed, and it's awesome. It's how YouTube works. Usually, if you give the like, if you comment, it shares it to more new people and tells them like, hey, there's this channel called Beto Eats, maybe you like it. Pretty much thanks to you all hitting that like, commenting, sharing, all that stuff, it sends it to new people and our community keeps growing. So I really appreciate all of you, all of the Foodgasm family, all of this great community that we have built here on the Beto Eats channel. You are all the best. We are stopping at another one. Let's stop right here. Next comment that we have is from Nikhil C. Nikhil, thank you so much. I see you a lot on the comments all the time. Really appreciate you. They ask, when is the Pani Puri challenge happening with my girlfriend and dad and sister and mom? So you could probably expect a Pani Puri challenge to happen with my dad. I would say this summer, so in the next few months for sure. I just need to go get all the stuff necessary to do it. With my mom, she's still recovering from her surgery, so she will be out, but maybe you'll see her towards the end of this year. For my girlfriend, you might be able to see that soon. I don't know, we'll have to see. I think she first has to try Pani Puri. I don't actually remember if she's actually tried Pani Puri. So I don't know if she likes it or not. If she does end up liking Pani Puri, then of course we will have to make that Pani Puri challenge video. But with my dad, you'll probably see it pretty soon in the next couple of months. Right here, we got one from Shaoli Das, and they asked, tell us something about yourself, what you have studied, what are you doing now, are you a full-time YouTuber? Basically a proper introduction about myself. Sure, I can give you a proper introduction. Hi everybody, my name is Beto. I am the owner of the Beto Eats YouTube channel. In my YouTube channel, I like to eat food and share my food experiences with the YouTube community, which is yourselves. The name of the YouTube community that I've created, I've given the name Foodgasm family, because if you watch my videos, the moment where you take a bite and it's so delicious, to me, I like to call that a foodgasm. It's just an explosion of like happiness and deliciousness. That's what I call a foodgasm, and that's where the Foodgasm family comes from. Other things, what do I do? Am I a full-time YouTuber? I am not. I try to post one video a week and be consistent with it for the past almost like 2 years or more than 2 years. Just do one video a week consistently. Maybe in the future, as I get more free time after my masters, it might go to 2, but we will see. Other things that you should know about me, I am currently doing my master's degree in software engineering. So I got one more year in that and then I graduate. I'll also probably make a graduation video. I would love to share it with all of you. Other things that you should know about me, I would say some sports that I enjoy playing and watching. I enjoy playing football, not soccer. Here in the United States it's called soccer, but I call it football. I also enjoy playing tennis. Whenever I have a chance, I do enjoy playing tennis. In high school, I played tennis a lot, and to this day I enjoy playing it. I also enjoy watching it. Top 3 favorite foods, I would probably have to say Mexican food, because I mean that's where I was born and raised, and that food is the very first food that I tasted in my life, and to this day I love it. My mom makes amazing Mexican food too. Second top food is definitely Indian food. Ever since I tasted Indian food for the first time about 2.5 years ago in 2018, I've just been like addicted, just trying it more and more and more. And thanks to YouTube, I've just been doing it almost every week. So it's amazing. I love Indian food. That's why Indian food definitely takes that number 2 spot. Number 3, I am a huge fan of like Thai food. Anything like noodles, all their pan-fried noodles, all their spicy curries, all of that. Thai food is amazing, great flavor as well. And of course there's so many more that are coming up after that. Maybe I'll make a video where I talk about my top 10 foods that I love, but definitely like Vietnamese, definitely like Japanese, Korean, all of these, it just continues. I have a whole list. But the top 3, Mexican, Indian, and Thai food. Other than that, sometimes I do like to play video games. But right now I'm kind of on an off season. I don't have much time to play video games since I have work, and then at night I do school for my masters, and then you know I continue to do YouTube and TikTok and all these other things that do take up a good amount of time, right? So balancing all of that, I normally don't have time for playing as much video games. One thing that I would say is my favorite hobby that I do almost on a daily basis is working out. I enjoy like fitness and trying to stay somewhat you know, fit and healthy. So I do have a gym membership, so I do go to the gym and train. My girlfriend comes with me a lot, so we try to stay fit. You know, I enjoy looking good, looking healthy, feeling healthy, you know, my clothes fitting me, things like that. I am a big fan of fitness. Actually, some of my very first YouTube videos in the past, they were about fitness a long time ago before I started just doing only food. I also did some fitness videos as well of me in the gym and showing different movements and things like that. We got a question from Ria, and Ria says, can someone be fully dependent on YouTube income if they have views same as you're getting? I always wonder, YouTube can be a full-time job or not. So here's the thing, yes, with YouTube you can live pretty well, but for that you need to get to like maybe I would say at least 500,000 subscribers. It really depends because every channel is different, but I would say maybe like 500,000 subscribers, you can start making a good amount of money monthly from YouTube. With my current followers, which I think I'm at 41,000 subscribers right now, and then the amount of views, because you get paid for views, not really subscribers. So if you have very engaged audience, which I think the Beto Eats family is pretty engaged. Of course, there are times where, you know, some of you watch more than other times. So it really depends on the month. For me, I definitely can't live off of YouTube. I don't make enough money to live off of YouTube. YouTube for me, my goal on YouTube is not necessarily that. It's more, I really enjoy trying food, and I think YouTube gives me a great excuse to try new food every week. That's what I really like about YouTube. But YouTube does help me pay for some of the food, not all of it, since as you see, some of the food does get pretty expensive. So I really appreciate all the views that I get, since they do go into helping me pay for the food that I eat, or maybe the camera that I'm using. Alright, so the next question, or kind of like a comment I guess, it's from Karishma Behera, and they asked, hi Beto, nothing to ask, just wanted you to be happy and make such videos forever. Karishma, Thank you so much. I never thought that I could start such an amazing community of food lovers such as all of you. And yes, I do plan on making YouTube long term. It's something that I really enjoy doing, because in the past I would just do my work, and then I would do maybe like my work, and then I just go and like lay around the house, right? But now, thanks to YouTube, thanks to things like TikTok, Instagram, where I post, you know, food content, it gives my life a whole other purpose of me always having an adventure to try more Indian food, to try more just food overall. So I do plan on continuing my YouTube, my Beto Eats YouTube channel, as long as I can. Hopefully my whole life. That would be amazing. Next question is from Naik Vishnu, and they ask, what do you like about Indian culture other than the food? And they said lots of love from India. That's a great question. Naik, thank you so much for your question. I would definitely have to say that my favorite thing about Indian culture, apart from the food, of course, the food is amazing. I love how the Indian culture is so family oriented. A lot of cultures, I would say they're not really family oriented. In Mexico, it is very family oriented, and you want to share your food with each other, right? And you want to be there for like the holidays, you want to be there for important days like birthdays. And I think for the Indian community, at least from what I've seen, is also very family oriented, and I really love that. I appreciate that. Here in the United States, I don't think there is a lot of family oriented culture. It's mostly, you know, you grow up, once you turn like 18, 19, you leave, and you kind of like, a lot of times I see some of my friends just kind of like try to forget about their family and distance each other. For me, in Mexican culture, you want to continue seeing your family, so you make the effort to go visit them, right? Like, I like to go visit my family as much as I can. Just visit them and be with them, right? Like right now I'm on vacation with them. It's great. We try to do this at least once a year, and it's awesome. It's great. I enjoy spending time with my family, and I see the same thing in Indian culture, you know. Some of my Indian friends, they go visit quite often to India, right? They make the big trip and go visit them. They talk to them on the phone every day, you know, their parents, their siblings. And I do that too. I call my mom, you know, I'll talk to my dad, like almost on the daily. To answer your question, I love how the Indian culture is very family oriented. That's one of my favorite things. I think this is my favorite pan dulce. It's so good. It's so like soft and buttery. And then in here you kind of have like a cream on there. It's amazing with some coffee, with some chai. Amazing. The very next question that we landed on is from The Real Surprise. Alright, so they ask, when you record videos, are you usually at your parents' house? So do you go to your parents' house from recording, like from US to Mexico? So no, my parents actually also live in the United States too. We came to the United States back in 2001. It's literally been 20 years since I moved to the United States. I was only maybe 5 or 6 years old when I moved. So I would say that the United States is my main home, right? But of course, Mexico is definitely the land that I was born in, and the land that I respect fully. The land where my culture is from, the land where I was born and my parents were born. So we do try our best to go and visit when we can. Maybe soon you'll see some videos of me going to Mexico. That would be very cool. Maybe next year, let's see. With the current situation in the past year, I have been working from home. I don't really go to the office, so I was able to move out and move closer to my parents because it is a lot cheaper to go and rent there, right? And so I rented a room in my girlfriend's apartment. So I've been at my girlfriend's place, but at the same time, it's like it's like 20 minutes away from my parents. So I visit them almost like 2 to 3 times a week. And that way I have been able to make more videos with my parents and, you know, visit them more often. So it's been really great. That's one pro of the current situation, is I did have a lot more time and chances to visit my family. Once I am moving in about a month and a half, I'll be seeing my parents a little bit less, but I will still definitely be visiting them. And the great thing is, where I am moving, there is so much more Indian options, Indian food restaurants. So not only will I be trying more Indian food with myself, with Sarah, with my girlfriend, but also I'll be bringing my parents new Indian food that they've never seen, they've never tried, and I think you are all going to be enjoying that. With that, I do want to thank you all. I'm about to go join my whole family. They're in the pool, so I'm about to go do that. But I do want to thank everybody. I do want to thank the Foodgasm family, this amazing community. If you are new to the Beto Eats channel, welcome. We're happy to have you. Definitely smash that subscribe button. I post one new video every week. If you aren't new, definitely smash that like button. Share it with your friends, your family. It definitely helps YouTube share it to more new people to help them know about the Beto Eats channel and join our food-loving community, the Foodgasm family. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Adios.